have an emergency.
Today on Rescue 911, an accident waiting to happen. A boy at the wheel of an ATV drives it straight into disaster.
My God! Wyatt!
And she was saying, he's dead, he's dead.
Plus 911.
When a child is injured, the whole family suffers. Sometimes the events can be so overwhelming that they challenge the limits of our faith. I'm William Shatner. Tonight, true stories that remind us nothing should be considered impossible on Rescue 911. We begin on July 1st, 1992 in Holland, Ohio, where Scott and Connie Yoder live on a large tract of land near many other members of their family.
Let's go to Little Grandma's. Bikes, motorcycles, and racing, and cars. It's just all part of their life here that we all live.
5-year-old Wyatt was riding his ATV around the family compound that afternoon.
He didn't want to stop playing. He was having fun. Begged if he could stay home with his Uncle Sam across the street. I just had a feeling to tell him goodbye, which was strange. We'd already said bye, but something was telling me don't leave him yet. And as I was going down the pasture, and that's when I seen the four-wheeler on its side.
My God! Wyatt! Wyatt!
I seen him laying down, his little leg laying beside him.
Wyatt, it's Mama!
I mean, it's almost like a horror film. It's what you would see on a screen. It's not what you'd see on your child.
Someone help me! No!
When we continue,
his eyes would roll in his head and he would pass out, and then he'd come to, and I thought, it's gonna be a miracle if he even lives.
when 5-year-old Wyatt Yoder was seriously injured while riding his all-terrain vehicle in front of his aunt's house, his mother Connie ran to call 911. A next-door neighbor, David Teachout, heard Connie's screams for help.
I could see a body in the grass. And Connie was up on the balcony, and she was saying, he's dead, he's dead.
He's alive.
Put pressure on the leg.
Wyatt, can you hear me?
Let's just straighten this a little bit.
I'm not sure what really went through my mind when I moved the leg, because I know that you shouldn't do too much moving. My main thought was comfort for him.
It's there.
Wyatt!
Sam Yoder, Wyatt's uncle, tried to slow the bleeding.
His eyes would roll in his head and he would pass out, and then he would come to, and I thought, it's gonna be a miracle if he even lives.
Rescue units with the Springfield Township Fire Department got to the scene within 6 minutes, including paramedic William Montree.
It was our first day. We had just started the service, and it was opening day at the Big Top.
It's okay. Sorry, Mama's here. It's okay.
Time was of the essence in this child's care. The only thing really holding the leg was a portion of the muscle group and some skin. So it was one of those what we call a load and go. We don't want to be on the scene more than 10 minutes on a patient in his condition.
As soon as we get this on, I'll go up to the truck and get a hold of MCO and change our med channel. All right.
I was holding his little head, and he said, "Mama, my leg, my leg." He thought everybody was on his leg. He was asking everybody to please get off my leg. And he said, "Mama, am I gonna die?"
You ready to go up on the cot?
And I said, "Lord, no, you're not gonna die, Wyatt. You're not gonna die. You're gonna be fine."
Let's go. I got his leg.
But it's hard to tell him he's gonna be okay when you don't know.
As soon as Wyatt and his mother arrived at the Medical College of Ohio, the boy was taken to be examined.
There was nothing I could do but the separation. I was so afraid I was never gonna see him again.
You got no pulses in the leg, blood pressure.
Orthopedic surgeon Robert Bielski was one of the doctors treating Wyatt.
You know, obviously our initial concern is how unstable he was in terms of how much blood he'd lost. Our second very important concern is whether or not this was a salvageable limb.
This is your order?
Yes.
Let's talk to you real quick.
A doctor came up to tell us that there was probably nothing that they could do for his leg. It was gone.
Take a look at his leg now, and all this all happened.
Seeing it the way I did, I didn't think that there was anything they could do for the leg. I just wanted my son.
Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Little Bob.
Luckily, the two nerves were intact in the back of the knee, so there's a very high chance that he would get some return of sensation and muscle function in his leg.
He was in surgery for, I believe, 6 hours. I think it was 2:30 in the morning before we got to see him. And the first thing he said was, "Mama, I want a fudge bar. I want to go home and I want to ride my bike." And it was hard because I never knew if he'd ever ride his bike again.
I'm going to be downstairs.
During the surgery, Wyatt's father, Scott Yoder, joined his wife at the hospital.
It was a long wait, but it was the most wonderful sight in my life to see him rolling by us and taking him into intensive care.
Wyatt has already had 7 more operations to rebuild his leg, with more surgeries ahead, and he'll need physical therapy for a long time to come.
He knew he was hurt, and he knew he had to work hard. He knew he had to cooperate. He learned a lot of patience, as he had to lay in that bed on his back for a long time. Didn't break his spirit at all.
He was lucky that he did save his nerves, but also that nothing else really was hurt on him. And he was lucky that he was found, because obviously the amount of blood he lost, he could have easily bled to death at the scene. I think that a valuable lesson anyone should learn from this situation is that the all-terrain vehicles are not toys.
I know people say, why would he be on that? Well, coming from our family, what we've grown up to be, what we've done in the past for years, it wasn't out of the ordinary for him to be riding it. But in my heart now, if they can't pedal it or roll it, they don't have it. That's my new motto.
1 year later, the rescuers who helped save Wyatt still check in on him.
We have to drive right by Wyatt's house to get fuel for our truck, and we stop in once in a while and see him, and we get quite regular reports, which is nice.
You being careful now?
Yeah. Well, I think there's several heroes. Jimmy and William and all his doctors that did what they did. Our neighbor man, David Teachout. You know, I call him Wyatt's little guardian angel. I could never thank him enough for what they've done. What's your biggest thing you've been doing? Playing. Yeah.